A couple things. You started out with a very MBA focus here, and I want to go back to that because that's not necessarily the background that we have in customer support, right? And, value propositions and things like that. In our previous conversations, you've thrown out terms like lifetime value of a customer. Like, we know the costs that we incur for the company because we're reminded of that every day, right? But those have to be balanced with the impact on the value proposition and the lifetime value of that customer, right? So if you don't know the lifetime value of the customers that you're serving, you already don't speak the language of the C-suite.
Yeah, because it does come down in dollars and cents, right? There is a limit on how much I can ask for, but I'm always going to try and take it right to that line and then say, well, what kind of customer experience are you looking for, C-suite? If you want us to back off a little bit, we can. But this is what that trade-off is going to look like, right? In the veterinary diagnostics business, lifetime value of customers is critical. Some are incredibly valuable to a business. In our case, there are parts of our business that have contracts associated with them. And the customer at the end of the contract can choose to continue on. And we're all, continuing our partnership, or they can go to a competitor. And so where I don't have a revenue generating team per se, right? We don't have anyone that's outbound calling, and we don't have anyone shaping deals. We're truly post-sales support and order management and then install and so on and so forth. But if my team falls down on their obligations in this customer experience, then the customer's not going to renew their contract. So when that happens, yeah, everyone should look at us sideways. I'll be honest. I take ownership of that because we need them to have a great experience so that they're not saying, well, the 6 years of post-sale experience have been kind of miserable. I hate having to call into support. They're never there when I need them. I'm not getting what I want. I'm going to a competitor. So I remind everyone, while I'm not revenue generating, I call it revenue preserving in the sense of I need these customers to stay with us. I need them to stay engaged. I need them to not blink an eye and say, yeah, I think I'm going to start entertaining your competition, or start to have this, tit for tat around pricing, right? I'll renew my contract, lower my fee spike at 3%. We would love to show them all, look what we do for you. We're here for you 24 hours a day. We have this really empathetic and intimate support model. We can get people on site to help you if you need it. Those types of things help me when I'm having C-suite discussions, because again, I can't say I need 100 people and yeah, it's going to cost us several $1,000,000. I'm so sorry you don't get anything out of it. Now I can say, hey, look at these customers that have really high CSAT and the likelihood that they are to renew these contracts for another series of multiple years. And that helps a lot. And again, it aligns really intimately with our value proposition. I feel a good type of model that I can create where we really create this intimate experience, not highly transactional, where we're getting true support to customers, either through troubleshooting. And I mentioned to you the other day, like people prefer to call in their orders versus using e-commerce because they love interacting with my team. And I still can't consent. I'm very tech savvy and I love doing everything without having to talk to anyone. I like efficiency. I like being fast at things, but these customers just love interacting with my team. And for me, that is such a bizarre concept, but it shows you like that's the kind of model we're creating. We're going really heavy on the value proposition of high touch customer service and not so much cost, right? We're not the cheapest anymore, so to speak. And so our model had to evolve. We are a bit of an innovation leader in terms of product, but that's not really the thing that people are coming to us for. It's this shockingly high empathy customer experience around when they need support, right? So that's working really well for us. And again, every business is a little different. You got to figure out where in that triangle, are you more product focused? Are you more innovative? Are you more cost savvy and you're trying to create a good cost model for your customers? Like that's something everyone has to figure out where they fit on that triangle. But walking away from my MBA, that is the one thing that has stuck with me and helps so much when I'm trying to sell this idea of advanced support to the C-suite.
And the thing I think that I would love to have everybody take away here is that customer support and the value you create and the portion of the customer experience that you are is valuable no matter what business you're in. In fact, even McKinsey did a study in 2023 and they looked at over 400 highly profitable companies B2C, B2B, across industries. And one of the biggest conclusions was that CX was the number one differentiator.
Yeah.
Number one, right? That stat, go look for that study, right? Like this is the kinds of things we need to do to sell internally is stand up and take the rightful position and ownership of the value that we create. And a lot of customer support organizations, they do cross sell, they do upsell, right? And they're part of product launches and explanation, and they're integral, to the revenue model, even beyond what you were talking about there. So this applies to everyone, what you're talking about here, and understanding these business metrics and models and how to talk internally. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, because you can get really hung up on KPIs. And I was telling you the story, I was listening to someone go on and on and on about the average speed of answer. And I get it. It is so lovely to have someone pick up the phone quickly when you're calling. If they're rushing you off the phone so they can do that with the next person, and they're not asking you is, what other things do you need help with? What are we maybe not doing well that you would want us to address? They're not really digging into the issue. They're just superficially handling whatever's in front of them transactionally. I got to get you off the phone because the phone's ringing. I got to get on to this next call. I hate that. I'll be honest. I don't like that for my customers. I don't like that for my associates because they're not getting this full feeling of empowerment of being able to listen to the customer's needs and to resolve them. And so, yeah, I mean, I can celebrate that some of my teams have, a 30-second average speed of answer when they're taking a million calls a year. That's great. However, how transactional were the majority of those experiences? Because how else do you get to 120 calls a day per person if they're not just rushing through the calls, right? So that's where we are continuing to evolve our models, right? But still show that value to the business. There's a reason why I would rather have one more head count than squeeze out one extra second of speed of answer, if that makes sense.